You've seen them in the movies, you see the speed, the spins, the crack of the chain, and it looks unstoppable. But will the nunchucks actually save you when fists, blades, and chaos explodes in a real fight? Let's check it out. There's a reason everyone thinks nunchucks are dangerous weapons. Bruce Lee movies sold that idea for decades. The truth is, it looks powerful. You can hear them tear through the air when you swing them. You feel dangerous. But that's the illusion of power, a weapon that looks lethal when nobody is fighting back. And that's the trap. It convinces you that swinging the nunchucks in the air equals effectiveness in real combat. It doesn't. In a real fight, you're not fighting air. You're fighting someone who wants to destroy you. Someone who doesn't give a shit about pain from a nunchuck strike. To make matters even worse, the moment chaos and adrenaline enters the equation, those flashy rotations turn into motor skill failures. And that chain will betray you faster than a Jeet Kune Do instructor claiming he teaches reality-based self-defense. The movies never show you that part, the bounce back, the slip, or the adversary who grabs the weapon from you and beats you to death. They sell movie fantasy, not reality. So yes, nunchucks look effective, but until you test them against an uncooperative adversary, they're a fantasy dressed up as a weapon. And we're about to test that fantasy. Before we begin the demo, let's talk about the single biggest unavoidable problem with the nunchucks: control. One clean swing looks great in the air, but look at what happens when the striking end meets actual resistance. The kinetic energy that went into the target has to go somewhere. It snaps back and changes direction in a heartbeat. And for the man-children who are upset at what I'm saying, the snapback is physics. The free end becomes a pendulum. Your rhythm is gone and your control collapses. And if the weapon doesn't stop the attacker, which most strikes won't, that recoil leaves you vulnerable. He can grab it or charge right at you. What was supposed to be your advantage has now become your liability. I can hear it. You guys still aren't convinced. Here's the worst part. Under stress, you don't have the fine motor skill to rescue that weapon. Your hands tighten, your vision tunnels, and that split-second recoil becomes a lifetime of vulnerability. And that's why I've always said that flexible weapons absolutely suck for real-world combat. And you guys who always say, oh, I'll use a chain or a belt, I've taken out people, you're idiots. You don't know the first thing about real-world combat, and stop spreading lies, because flexible weapons suck. And here's the part most people never consider. A strike from nunchucks may sting, but it won't stop someone who's already decided to do serious harm. Pain compliance is a freaking fantasy. The same fantasy people sell about using wooden canes for self-defense. If someone's enraged, psychotic, or high on psychoactive drugs, a smack from nunchucks won't make them politely go home. At best, you're gonna piss them off, and they're gonna come at you even harder while you're stuck trying to recover from that stupid recoil. So in today's lesson, I'm gonna show you various nunchuck strikes in the air, then I'm gonna demonstrate them on a body opponent bag, and then finally, for the real test, against a real live opponent.
From the ancient Colosseum, where gladiators lived and died, to the storm-torn seas, where iron met flesh upon shattered decks, to the battlefield, where wrath carved kingdoms in blood, bone, and steel, we follow the War Machine. War Machine Chronicles celebrates the warrior archetype, the ethos society seeks to suppress, to soften, to erase. From the age of iron and blood, where warriors roared defiance in the face of death, to all men who still feel the war drum beat beneath their skin, written for fighters, soldiers, and survivors. for those who still walk the edge. It is transformation, forged to harden the mind, discipline the body, and sharpen the will. War Machine Chronicles, not just a book, it's a sacred codex of wrath. Over 300 pages, more than 100 haunting illustrations, combat verse, and lethal philosophy forged by Sammy Franco. War Machine Chronicles, not just a story, but a weapon. It teaches, it tests, it transforms. War Machine Chronicles, available now on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle.
The first technique is going to be the front snap. Now, you guys have seen this in many Bruce Lee movies and a lot of action movies, and of course in social media. What they'll do is they'll hold the nunchucks under the armpit, snap it out, and catch it under the armpit. So it looks like there's some control. And now we're going to demonstrate it on the body opponent bag and see what happens to that control. So Tommy, you were the recipient of that strike. Tell me, how easy was it for you to deflect it off the line?
Extremely easy. It was telegraphic. I could see your hand moving before you did the strike. You could see the pressure you were putting on it.
Okay, so compared to like a boxer's jab, was this a lot easier to defend against?
Yeah, the boxer's jab would have been more straight and direct and harder to determine when it was coming at you. That you could see. It gave you that second, that split second.
So from this chamber position, you can see that telegraphic comes out. Okay. So we're not even talking about how effective this is in terms of a fight. We're talking about the telegraphic potential of this weapon. This guy right here can see it before it even lands. And you can see effortlessly, he just swats it out of the way. So in this scenario, Tommy did not even bother parrying that snap technique. He literally crashed through the line. And this is what I always say in my videos. When you're fighting in the streets, your adversary is going to crash through the line, if he's formidable, right? So Tommy, from your perspective, did you find this to be threatening in any way, shape, or form?
No, I would never hesitate. I would never give somebody time to even load that up. I would crash the line every time and never give them a chance to use full use of swinging that weapon. I would just, and I wouldn't even bother with it. It would hit me and I'd just keep moving forward.
Okay, so we've talked about this over and over again in our videos because this is reality-based self-defense. Also think about this. I have this weapon and when I hit Tommy, it literally bounced and hit me back in the face. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is, even if I re-chamber it under the arms, Tommy's attacking me with two hands. I only have one. This one right here, and I'm holding on to these stupid things. So again, just another example how these things are useless in a real world combat situation. Next, we have the figure eight technique. Now, a lot of people use this because they think it creates an invisible force field that prevents the adversary from coming at you. Well, let's just test that out. Let's see if this really works. So that was demonstrating the figure eight, which is supposedly going to create some protective field against the adversary from charging you. And again, it's the same garbage they teach with the wooden cane, that they use that figure eight, which is garbage. It's never going to work. And to this day, I still have people who make comments saying that it will work because these people are living on a different planet. So Tommy, from your perspective, this figure eight technique, would that stop you from crashing the line?
It's ridiculous. It's a joke. Just pissed me off.
Did you feel threatened by it?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So from a psychological perspective, it was nothing to you?
No, because if we're going to fight, we're going to fight.
Exactly, exactly. So as you know, nunchucks can be delivered at a variety of different angles. You have horizontal strikes, diagonal strikes, you even have vertical strikes going down. So what happens when I take the nunchucks and I swing horizontally across at a target? Let's demonstrate on the body opponent bag and see what type of control we actually have. So when it comes to the horizontal strike, many people teach it as a disarm technique, specifically against a knife. Tommy, show him the knife. There is a Filipino martial arts channel. This guy's very popular. He's teaching this nonsense. As if a pair of nunchucks are gonna stop a knife attacker. Are you out of your freaking mind? This is the demo he shows. Tommy holds the knife. Of course, he's a cadaver. He's stationary. He has no ability to move. And I'm going to take my nunchucks and I'm going to strike horizontally across the hand. And of course, I'm going to magically disarm the weapon. Never going to happen. It's BS. These people have no business teaching self-defense at all. So now you guys had a chance to see how the nunchucks, more importantly, that horizontal strike, would work against someone actually holding a blade. Now, here's the important part. This is not even considered pressure testing. You guys have seen my pressure testing video and you know what we do. You know the reality. This is just a drill to show you the flaws of this ridiculous tool. Tommy, what was your perspective and when faced against nunchakus while you were holding the blade?
Well, first thing, nobody's going to stand still and let you hit their hand. They're going to move their hand. They're going to move it around to make it a harder target to hit. Number two, the one thing I noticed is as you're swinging it, I immediately in my head started timing where the end of the nunchuck was so that I could crash the line in order to get the best advantage for me. You know, you automatically do that. You don't even know you're doing it. So, and most importantly, guys, in this demonstration, you could see when I strike at Tommy and he crashes that line, this just bounces uncontrollably. This is not a weapon. This is not a serious weapon for survival on the streets. And I hope this video is really hitting home with you guys. This stuff is nothing but hype. It's a prop for movies. That's it. And here's something else they do not teach you regarding the nunchucks. The only effective target for this thing is going to be the head. If you think swinging horizontally or diagonally against the shoulder, the collarbone, or the elbow is going to stop somebody who's determined to hurt you, you're out of your mind. It is not going to stop them. So when you demonstrate these diagonal strikes, these horizontal strikes, either going forward or backward, you're not going to stop somebody who's charging at you. You're not going to stop somebody who doesn't give a shit, because a lot of guys in the street don't give a shit. They've got nothing to lose. And if you think these little toys are going to stop them, you're out of your mind. What, Sam, why are we doing this?
Well, we're demonstrating the effectiveness of a horizontal nunchuck strike against you in a street fight, Tommy. That's why we're doing this, right?
So the first time you swing it, it goes past.
Yeah.
And I crashed the line for the umpteenth time today.
Oh, no. These nunchucks, these are magical tools. These are magic, Tommy. When I swing them, they're going to come back super fast. They're going to stop you.
Yeah. No chance.
Really?
No chance.
You don't think they're effective?
No chance.
But I thought nunchakus work in a self-defense situation.
A high school football player would crash that line faster than that thing could come back and hit him.
Hey, we're about to get back into the video, but let me ask you something. Do you want to legitimately accelerate your self-defense skills? And are you sick of clickbait videos teaching absolute garbage? Or tired of being misled by unqualified wannabe experts who have zero credibility or experience? If the answer is yes, now is the time to join my War Machine memberships. As a member, you're going to get exclusive access to in-depth training videos, exclusive full-feature video content, downloadable training PDFs, and direct insights you're not going to find anywhere else. Plus, you're going to have direct access to me in the comment section of all my videos. So if you have questions, you're going to get real, detailed answers from me and not some random keyboard warrior. So if you're serious about mastering real-world combat skills, hit the join button below and start training like a true war machine. Now, let's get back to the lesson. And for some of you who might be wondering how come I'm proficient with a weapon that I completely disparage and malign, here's the answer. I practiced with nunchucks when I was a teenager, 13, 14 years of age. That's the last time I picked these things up. And as you can tell, it's ingrained into my nervous system, into my DNA, so I'm proficient with them. But I do not train with them. I never even looked at them. The last time, again, I was about 13 or 14 the last time I actually used this. So unfortunately, it's ingrained into my DNA. But here's the takeaway for you. I grew up. I realized that something like this has no purpose for reality-based self-defense. You have to grow up and realize that it does not apply for real-world self-defense situations. This is a toy, this is a prop, this is something you see in movies. This is not what you want to use in a reality-based combat situation. And for those of you who like to jump into the comments and say, but Sammy, the police use nunchucks, so what? Yes, a few departments experimented with them decades ago, mostly for pain compliance and holds used under very limited conditions. Big deal. They also tested a dozen other tools that were eventually phased out for some reason or another. They simply didn't work under real resistance and they carried too much damn liability. Police departments quickly realized that a tool you can't control under pressure is a liability, not an asset. That's why they moved to batons, pepper spray, and eventually tasers. Here's the truth. The nunchuck was never designed for modern self-defense. It's a relic, an action movie prop that looks powerful until reality hits back. In a real fight, a nunchuck strike won't stop a determined attacker. It's only going to piss him off. The weapon offers poor control, the chain snaps back unpredictably, swings offline, or gets grabbed outright. What looks like power becomes chaos in your own hands. Listen to me, guys. If you want to survive a real combat situation, choose weapons that prioritize weapon retention, control, simplicity, and stopping power. Train for what's real, train for what works, and never confuse movie performance with survival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next video.